Second Nature for Children is in the house. Coach, how you doing?
Great, man. Great as always. Always tough.
Man, I'm doing absolutely great. I'm noticing, Coach, a lot. It's a lot of killing, and I'm talking about killing to the point where females are killing the guys, and the guys are killing
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
females in different
yeah,
relationships.
yeah.
It's a lot of psychological issues that are going on, and I'm looking at people thinking that they own you. Your possession to them. If they can't have you, can't nobody have you. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
That's a
So
common mindset when you listen to certain people conversation.
hmm,
I don't even think they even realize that they're revealing that about themselves when they're describing what they're describing. Like, wow, okay. I see how you feel. Okay.
yeah, that's crazy.
So,
So I want everybody to be careful and be careful who you yoke up with. You understand? And then, if you're dealing with anyone that haven't healed from whatever they have dealt with or dealing with emotionally, you're gonna have to be
yeah.
you're gonna have to be very careful of that person too, because they on the edge of anything kicking off, you understand, because they got a lot of psychological issues that are stuck a lot of times in the
Let
what
me
they cut.
just say this too, man. In whatever capacity you're dealing with someone, relationship, be it, y'all this calling out situationship, relationship, whether it's romantic, business, whatever. Man, that person has a right, they have a choice to change their mind from whatever y'all decide. You know what I mean? It's not that is they're downing you or anything like that. They just change their mind as they for whatever reason. And they have that right, that choice. You know what I mean? Now
Absolutely.
you can hold it against yourself, you can hold it against them, whatever. But come on, man, that person is a person. It's a human being. They're just being who they are, a human. And they have a right. If they decide to make a choice and change whatever it is, it should be okay. You know what I mean? I think it should be okay. How you deal with it, and that becomes an issue. I mean, come on now. Really, but I leave it like that, man.
And coach, it should, you know, people should be able to let it go. You understand? But there's so much emotional damage to that's a big problem. I just been seeing it a little bit more through this social media and just through news and just through everything. And I'm like, wow, we're killing each other because someone may want to leave or move on with their life.
In their life, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
same thing.
So you got to be. So I just want us to be careful, and we have to be careful too with people who won't admit their own wrongs. Their fault. You have to be careful with them as well, because it's always you. It's never them.
Uh,
So I just thought about that a little bit, and that's crazy, but that's true. And I had another conversation with someone earlier uh, this week, and I just want to say this too, family. Make sure you take care of yourself first. Make sure, I just want to say that from a conversation I had. Yeah, yeah, make sure you take care of yourself first. And I'm not talking about being selfish. I'm not talking about being selfish, but stop putting people before you who are selfish. I'll put it like that right there. Stop
and then
putting,
you want to get mad when you then don't reciprocate. Come on, man.
you understand? So
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
remember, yeah, remember to always take care of you first. Because sometimes you have to show selfishness. Sometimes you have to show selfishness. And I'm talking about as it's defined by Merriam-Webster, a concern excessively or exclusively with oneself. Sometimes you got to put yourself first. And it's not a
But
bad. Go ahead on. Go ahead on.
but the thing about it, if you don't do that, who's gonna do that? If you're showing someone, think about it now. if you're showing someone by your actions that you don't care about you, you cannot be upset if that person show you display the same, you know, things towards you that you display to yourself. So you have to show people, I'm gonna see about me. I'm gonna see about me, whether you do or not, I'm gonna see about me. You treat people, I mean, you show people, I would say, how you want to be treated by how you treat yourself. Believe it or not, man.
And by you saying that, you definitely have to be careful what you allow people to get away with, because once they find out they can get away with certain things, they'll treat you bad. So we have to be very careful. So that's just from a conversation. I just want you just remember, take care of yourself, put yourself first. Don't put nobody in front of you that they're selfish and they wouldn't do the same for you. You understand? So be careful with that. That's just from another conversation, coach I had. And this one here, during the course of the week, I was talking to a person and they was telling me that they was a substance abuse counselor. So I said, wow, okay, so they're working with people with addictions and drugs and alcohol and things like that right there. But
Mm-hmm.
then I'm looking at them, and this person is weighing anywhere from 325 to 385 pounds. And I was listening to him talk, and I said, you know what? Should you tell him, Dre, that food is an addiction as well?
That's a substance.
So I always be careful right here too, family, from that discussion. If you're going to give anybody, especially some good advice about how to better themselves, always make sure you take heed to your own advice.
There it is, right there. That's it. That's it. Yep. Yep.
And
Yep.
eventually, coach, I told him, I said, well, you do understand that food is an addiction as well. Yeah, 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 I do. And I love to eat. I look.
Okay. So
So
what you gonna do about it?
I say that
You need
same
help too.
advice. Yeah, yeah, that same advice that you're giving to the people that you're speaking to, just make sure you take care of yourself and you take that same advice. So I just want to share those couple of things that, I experienced. And like I said, I had some more, but time is always restraining. Like I say, some of these shows we could do can be a series. But I ask you this question right here, coach. I ask you, do you know of anything, even from history up to the day,
Mm.
that never changed for blacks? I don't know if you had time to really think about that.
I thought about it. Some pop right away once I thought about it. So yeah.
Well, if you want to share it, you can share it.
Lack of unity.
Okay.
The lack of unity. I mean, you can start you can bring it up closer to the civil rights era. I mean, not everyone was aboard,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And King was doing his thing. Not everyone was aboard now, you know. But we all enjoying it now.
Hmm.
Whether you were born here or you came here, we all enjoying it. That's real. And whatever we going through right now, you know, regardless of what lane you want to pick, is because of a lack of unity. That's what I see. So when I saw it, that's what came to mind right away.
We definitely, coach, lack unity. And speaking of Dr. King, he definitely had his time, and he definitely had groups of people who did not like him, and did
Yeah.
not admire him as
Yeah.
some. And a lot of people didn't know they do his history on him, that he was not born Martin Luther King. His
Yeah.
name
Yeah. True.
was
True.
given later. I've done videos where he
Hmm.
was literally born Michael King. But that's definitely a great example. And when I think about that, coach, when I think about that, time change, eras changes, people change, whether it's for good or for bad. And after all the different changes we experience through our journey on this thing called life, that's a great one. But I'm gonna give you, and we talk about it all the time, and I just want you to think about this right here. Tell you how deep this is. This is deep. This is deep. There are three things from history up to now that haven't changed. And as a human being, it will never change. No matter how much technology changes, no matter how much things you see evolve, no matter how they do the cars. Now you can see the cars riding down the street, but I said, no matter how much things change, as time changes, technology changes, things evolve. It's some things from history up to now. And I'm talking about, I want to focus on us, but it's for people that I'm talking about, blacks, that would never change unless they start making robots. We become robots. But as long as we live in this universe and nature work as it's designed to work for human beings, these three things will never change. And coach, by us not understanding this, it has put blacks in a bad position. We're in a bad position in life. And it's so simple. It's not even complicated. It's so simple. But from all the distractions, it has taken blacks off their game from all the distractions. And we suffer as a people because we don't understand that these three things would set us up to live a healthy and productive life. And it's been from the beginning of time. And watch what it is. It's our foundation of living. After all we've been through, and after all we're going through as a people, we're not doing well right now today because a lot of us stop working on our mind, our body, and our soul. Think about that for a second. Those are the three things that would never change for blacks if you want to live a healthy and productive life. It's that simple. For all we've been through, you mentioned the civil rights era. We can go all the way back to slavery. We can go all the way back to where the scientists and the religion people still trying from the beginning as human beings. These three things from then to now are the reasons that we struggle as a people because we don't know how to take care of our mind. We don't know how to take care of our bodies, and we don't know how to take care of our soul. A lot of us, coach, haven't learned yet the science of connecting the three together to live a healthy and productive life. These are the three things that from history up to now that has never changed. No matter what you're going through in your life right now, no matter what you're experiencing in your life, no matter what you went through in your past, no matter what grandmama and all the ancestors, if they didn't take care of themselves mentally, physically, or spiritually, they didn't do well. We talk about it all the time. And I bring that connection back to show you that right now today, if we take heed to taking care of those three areas, because everything you are dealing with right now today is under one of those areas. You either struggling physically, that's the body. Most of us are struggling mentally. We just talked about emotionally, feelings, all that's coming from our mental state, our spiritual state, they can throw us off. Now you're eating everything, eating crazy, especially when you're in certain communities. What is it the desert? What they call it? Those communities
A food
where
desert.
the food
Yeah,
desert,
food desert.
where you just only have food that's really that'll kill you. Then you got a liquor store on every corner that'll kill you. And no matter as time went on, and we have found ourselves in these different communities, you still, if you want to live a healthy and productive life, you still have to learn to fight the distractions off and take care of your mind, your body, and your soul. And coach, that's one of the biggest reasons as a people we're falling right now today because we don't have a strong foundation. And anything in life without a base, here's a fact, it's gonna fall. These are the three things that will never change for Blacks. From the beginning of time to now, you got to make sure you take care of your mind, your body, and your soul. And I can promise you this, coach, and I can promise whoever hear me, that if you begin to take care of these three areas, let's just do the body first. If you begin to start exercising, and I'm saying it because someone have heard me say this before, but they haven't gotten started. So what is it going to take? Why do we have to always wait for the doctor to tell us that we almost
Yeah.
dead? Why do we have to always wait for the doctor to tell us that we're almost dead, that we better get on it, or we're going to be getting up out of here early? What has happened in your life that you don't see physically that you need to exercise, change your diet, and take care of yourself? Is something wrong psychologically, whether you know it or not? If something has happened to you, or you're just unconscious about it, but there is a price to pay. And a lot of us, we don't observe life. All you have to do is look around and look at a lot of older people who did not take care of themselves. That's your faith. That's your faith. And it seems like you should be able to observe that and say, you know what? I don't want to be like that. I don't want to live like that. So what do I need to do to make things physically better for me? And that's to begin exercising. I'm gonna keep saying it because it'll literally change your life. Our life expectancy it has really dropped down up under 70 years old. And it's because we're not taking care of ourselves. Mentally, that's a whole nother show, that's a whole nother series that we're dealing with, I would say, a lot of psychological issues, a lot of disorders. Well, how you say that and why you say that? Well, all you got to do is just check out our behavior. Do you realize that something is wrong mentally if you're not taking care of yourself physically? I wonder have we ever thought about that?
I don't think most people see it like that. They don't, man. Like I said, what they see is someone just like them, worse than them, and they figure they're doing all right. You know, yeah.
We've looked around so long and seen abnormal, and we have picked it up mentally that is just normal.
Yeah.
And it's not. I'm telling everyone that hear me right now that if you were not taking care of yourself physically, and this is not judging anyone, we have to always talk about because people go to hollering about you judging. No, I'm not giving you an opinion. Here's a fact. Because if you don't take care of yourself physically, there's a price to pay physically, and it's not a good price. So you got to sit down with yourself and you got to ask yourself mentally, why am I not taking care of myself physically? It's something wrong. That's a fact. Unless you just don't love yourself. Remember, we was
Mm,
talking earlier,
mm,
and we always talk
yeah.
about showing yourself love. And when you don't take care of yourself physically, you can sit and say whatever you want to say with your mouth that you love yourself, but your actions show something else. And we got to wake up to that. And I know a lot of us don't want to hear that. YouTube don't move this don't move through the algorithm, or we won't share it, we won't like it, we won't move it. So it's great information that sits on a shelf that we won't even move to share because we don't see that there's a problem.
How is YouTube supposed to care about us if we don't care about ourselves? I mean,
Absolutely.
that's just being real, you know?
And
So,
and they definitely don't care. That's why I said us being on YouTube giving this type of information, if we as a people don't move it, it'll never get moved because YouTube, as you just stated, YouTube don't care whether we live a healthy and productive life, especially people of color. They do not, that's not why they're here. So we're trying to sneak some information in because we know the algorithm is not going to move it. And then we won't move it. And like I said, now you just got great information sitting on the shelf. And if it's not great information, there's my email address. Share with me why it's not. You come on the show. All you got to do is hit me up. You share with me anything I've said that's not true. Show me. I don't want you to tell me. You can go through what we got 265 videos, I think. If you
man,
can go
that
through
much?
265, and if you can go through any video where I've told you something is true and you find that it's not true, hit me up. Let's talk about it. I promise you, you won't be able to find one thing that I've told you that's true or that's a fact that you can bring and say, I can show you that it's not. I've done my homework. And that's why we never get anybody really coming at us because we stay simple. It's real simple. It's not hard. How is somebody gonna come and tell you and they're overweight or obese that you lying about taking care of yourself could take you to another level? Let me tell you something. That stupidity will show so loud. Do you understand what I'm saying? They cannot come and tell you that there's a problem with taking care of yourself physically. That's why we never get any pushback because we stay simple. We stay simple.
Mm.
Right. You'll never get into. I just want you to think about that. Who's gonna come tell you that y'all lying about taking care of yourself? It'll put you in a better place. Or I should be eating healthy. No, who? It'll put them on display. I just want you to think about that. The thing that we talk about and we're dealing with the mind. Listen, a lot of us don't even know what the mind is and how it works. So how we're gonna do better with it when we don't know what it is? Have you ever thought about that? A lot of us don't know what the mind is. A lot of us don't know how it works. We don't know. So, how we're going to perfect it? Our decision making every day, coach, is based on our mind. And if we don't
True.
have,
Yeah.
yeah, and if we don't have a well mind, because a lot of us, like I say, it's a lot of disorders, over 200 and something disorders that every day we're dealing with as a people. But a lot of us haven't thought about that. That comes from the mind. We haven't even thought about it. Our behavior shows that something is wrong. But like I said a little earlier, abnormal just have become normal in the Black community. Even when I'm working with the young men in certain communities that now they're 14, 15, 16 years old. And you can see a lot of them, they're just literally gravitating to their community, their environment. Just you could tell them, you could talk to them, you could tell them, you could talk to them all day long, but they're more influenced by their habitat, what they live in. It's sad, but it's so true.
Mhm.
How somebody gonna hit us up and tell us that they don't need to work on their mind? They will show they crazy.
You might be surprised.
I want them to hit me up.
Might be surprised,
I
man.
want them to. I don't, I know there's a lot of issues that go on mentally, but coach, they not that crazy. They crazy, but
But not that
they
crazy.
not that crazy. We're not gonna get one to tell us, you telling me I need to work on my mind that we are crazy. They're just not gonna do it. They're not gonna do it. They may say it off camera, they may say it under their breath, but man, let me tell you something. They're not gonna put themselves out there to say that they got it all together mentally. They're not gonna do it, coach. They're not gonna do it. And that religion thing has messed us up so bad spiritually. Here it is. What a lot of people don't think about. No one. That's why so many different religions. No one knows. That's why they call it a belief. That's why they call it a belief. So when you jump into your belief, here's the problem. You saying that you believe, but you're believing from a custom or you're believing from formality. Your behavior is not showing that you believe. I have no problem with someone being a part of a religion. If that's their thing, no problem. Here's the problem. If you're telling me that you are part of a belief, but you're not living that belief, that's the problem. Because here it is. I come from the Black Baptist Church, and everyone who's under the sound of my voice right now who went to church today, I just want you to think for a second. Don't you know that if you're reading from the 66 books of the Bible, just the 66, do you know that they have dietary laws, do's and don'ts when it comes to eating? Did you know that that book carry standards and principles, your belief? Did you know that?
That's not important, man.
Ain't that
That's
something? Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you
not
understand?
important.
Do you understand what I'm saying? You can take that belief or that religion you're a part of and take the three things. Don't you know that in that book they talking about that you have to have a change of mind? You have to change. You have to be born again. So here it is in the three areas that I'm telling you from the beginning of time that has never changed, that we do everything but the foundation, even from a religion standpoint. The Bible tells you to take care of your body. The Bible tells you to take care of your mind. The Bible tells you to take care of your soul, but we're not doing it. And you think about when you was in church today and just kind of look around when you go back next Sunday. And I want you, here's a fact, and you hit me up and you let me know if it's not true, especially in the Black Baptist Church. I was there all the way up to 2012, that you don't see some of the sickest people when it deals with our mind, our bodies, and our soul. Because a lot of us have it confused that when we've experienced certain things in life, that personal spiritual being, we've confused it with the writings of the books, that God that they wrote in the books. We have it confused. We think that when something great happened for us in life, it's coming from that God that they wrote in the book. And we got to wake up because that's your own personal spiritual experience. It has nothing to do, whether you know it or not, with that book. Because that book can have, and it do have in some other Bibles, more than 66 books. So, man, they compiled what they wanted you to read, what they wanted you to believe. And if you don't know that by now, a lot of us don't even realize that by now, that those books were just put together. Different books of different times and different eras were just put together for you to read. And now they got you believing that from your personal experiences, things that you have experienced, where you feel like God has brought you out of, and God has did this and God has did that. They got you thinking that it comes from that God that they wrote about in that book. Boy, they got us all messed up. And that's from your personal experience. Because I've always told you, you don't need that religion when you have an understanding that your relationship with that what dwells within you is personal, and you learn how to live by standards, do's and don'ts, and stand on principles. I promise you, you'll be all right. I promise you. So if you're going to be part of a religion and you're going to go into a building every Sunday or whenever you go, just make sure in the three areas, taking care of the mind, the body, and your soul, make sure you pull those parts out of that religion and work on those parts. Make sure you do that. Coach, you got anything you want to share?
So you trying to tell Christians to be accountable? Is that what you're saying?
Oh man, that's rough. That's rough. That's
You're
rough.
trying to tell them to be accountable, man. Okay.
That's rough.
I know they hear you loud and clear, man. You
That's rough.
know, they hear you loud and clear. So hopefully they tap in and do what you ask. And they got to keep in mind it's beneficial to them. It's beneficial to them. Just asking you to help yourself, to be better than you are today, better than you were yesterday. That's all. That's it. If that's asking too much, well, hey, I digress then.
And by you saying that, Coach, the Christians have to be definitely careful, especially when we're waiting on someone to come do something for us. When if you're going to take care of your mind, your body, your soul, that's something you're going to have to do yourself. You got to be accountable and you got to be responsible for that right now. If you're going to be saved, it's going to come from when you walk and look in the mirror, that person, that figure that you see, that's who's going to save you. And so you better start saving yourself right now because that person is already here. It's already here. And that's a problem that the religion have us depending on the book or something else to come and do it when we can do it for ourselves. That's a problem. If, like I said, if you have any questions, any pushback, there's my information right there. Well, let me move so you can make sure. Coach, can they get it? SNLchildren at
Yeah, yes,
gmail.com and
plan,
hit
yeah.
me up. Absolutely. Absolutely. We got to do better because as you think about it, and like I said, where you are right now, either your mind, your body, your soul, how you are maturing in those three areas is where you're sitting right now. It'll let you know. If you're not doing well physically, that lets you know something is wrong mentally. That's a fact. It's something wrong that you got to get together. And then you got to tap into that which dwells within you, your discipline, your self-control, your self-love, your tenacity. You haven't tapped into it. You haven't even showed yourself love. We got to wake up. We're going to keep talking about it too. until you begin to take care of yourself, until you just walk away and die and don't do it. And that lets you know you definitely have something psychologically going on wrong when you just give up. When you just give up. So, coach, I'm gonna leave it right down. From the beginning of time, those are three things that will never change for blacks, that we need to take care of our minds, our bodies, and our souls. And when I talk about soul, I'm always say, I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about having standards, character, integrity, working on it, being a better person, having that intimate time where you and that which dwells within you go through a meditation stage. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the church building and you going in there. And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a personal relationship with that which dwells within you. That's what I'm talking about. I'm done, coach.
I just want to add, man, we need to keep in mind that we're spiritual beings in a physical world. We're spiritual beings in a physical body. That's what we are. So you might think or might feel a spirituality or tapping into spiritual is not, you know, a priority, but it has to be if you are a spiritual being.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I know the world is physical, your body, all that, but you are still a spiritual being, you know. If that spirit is not dwelling in that physical, you're not here. We not here, you know. So that's something to also think about, man. I know it's what they call it Black History Month. And a lot of times I hear people talking about the continent of Africa and why there's not together, no any togetherness and all of that. For those who are interested, man, look up the 1884, I think 1884, 1885 conference in Berlin, how they came together and divided up the continent with no representation from the continent, mind you.
Hmm.
There's Europeans coming together, dividing up the continent, and that's why we have what we have today, you know, and treat the continent like their personal piggy bank, so to speak. So just a little gem I'm dropping for those who are interested, man. You know, so you can understand why we are where we are today. You know, start from somewhere. So, yeah. But as always, man, all we talking about is life. All we encouraging you to be a better version of yourself. That's it. I know you can't be mad with that, and if you mad with that, okay, you'll get over it. You know. So that's it for me, man.
Until the next time, I appreciate that information and family go check it out. And until the next time, coach, I holler.
All right, same here, man.